For over a decade, GM truck fanatics have been screaming bloody murder about one catastrophic failure. The V8 disaster that killed trust, destroyed loyalty, and sent customers running to Ford like refugees fleeing a sinking ship. But what I'm about to reveal will stop you dead in your tracks. GM just threw down $888 million like a poker player going all in with pocket aces. They're not just fixing the V8, they're obliterating every failure, every nightmare, every reason you lost faith in American muscle. The 2026 Silverado isn't getting a makeover. It's getting a resurrection that will make Ford executives lose sleep for years. Stay locked in, because what comes next will shatter everything you thought you knew about GM's master plan for total truck domination. Let me paint you a picture of complete devastation. GM's V8 reputation wasn't just damaged, it was nuked from orbit. We're talking about failures so catastrophic that grown men wept over their broken trucks in dealership parking lots. Lifter collapses turned dreams into nightmares overnight. These microscopic valve train components would detonate without warning in both 5.3 and 6.2-liter engines. When they died, your truck didn't just break down, it became a $15,000 paperweight. Complete engine replacement on work trucks that were supposed to run forever. Absolutely unforgivable. AFM and DFM became the curse words every mechanic whispered. Active fuel management and dynamic fuel management promised fuel savings by shutting down cylinders. Instead, they delivered jerky, unpredictable power that made every acceleration feel like Russian roulette. The throttle response was so garbage that thousands of owners ripped out these systems with aftermarket tuners. When customers are paying to disable your technology, you've failed spectacularly. Transmission carnage completed this trilogy of terror. Those 8 and 10-speed transmissions hunted gears like blind hunters in a forest. Clunky shifts that rattled your teeth. Hesitation at the exact moment you needed power. An overall experience that felt like driving a broken prototype instead of America's truck. These weren't isolated incidents scattered across a few unlucky owners. These were systematic failures that assassinated decades of hard-earned loyalty. Customers who bought GM trucks because their fathers did, whose grandfathers did, suddenly found themselves shopping Ford lots for the first time in their lives. The $888 million nuclear option. Here's where this story explodes into something nobody in Detroit saw coming. While Toyota surrendered like cowards and executed their bulletproof 5.7 V8, while Ford doubled down on turbocharged complexity that nobody asked for, GM made a decision so audacious it stunned the entire industry. December 2023, GM announces they're carpet bombing their Tonawanda engine plant in Buffalo, New York with $888 million in pure American fury. This historic facility has been building engines for 87 years, through world wars, economic collapses, and every automotive revolution. Now it's about to birth the most advanced V8 ever conceived. This isn't incremental improvement. This isn't corporate Band-Aid engineering. This is ground zero, clean sheet obliteration of every problem that plagued the previous generation. New York State kicked in $17 million in tax incentives and secured 870 jobs, sending a thunderous message to the automotive world. GM isn't abandoning the V8. They're perfecting it into an unstoppable force. The 6th-generation small block V8 begins production in 2027, perfectly timed for the 2026 Silverado launch. While competitors chase regulatory approval with soulless turbos and complex hybrids, GM is betting their entire future that American truck buyers still demand honest, naturally aspirated V8 dominance. And the market data proves they're absolutely, undeniably right. The numbers that expose industry stupidity. Prepare to have your mind completely blown by data that destroys every automotive journalist's prediction about V8 demand dying. 50% of all new Silverado 1500s still roar off dealer lots. With V8 power, that's 42% equipped with 5.3-liter engines and 8% with 6.2-liter powerhouses. Now compare that devastating statistic to Ford's pathetic performance. Only 25% of F-150s get V8 engines. America's best-selling truck relies primarily on turbocharged V6 engines that deliver complexity instead of the linear power delivery truck buyers actually crave. But the evidence becomes absolutely crushing when examining GM's full-size SUV domination. Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade registered nearly 274,000 units in 2024, with a staggering 93% equipped with V8 engines. Meanwhile, Ford's V6, only Expedition and Navigator limped to just 88,000 combined registrations. The market isn't whispering for V8 power, it's screaming with the voice of thunder. GM is the only manufacturer brave enough to listen to customers instead of government bureaucrats and automotive journalists who've never towed a trailer in their lives. Complete engineering annihilation and rebirth. What exactly is GM obliterating? With this massive investment, every single weakness that destroyed customer trust, plus innovations that will make competitors weep tears of engineering envy. The valve train receives complete surgical reconstruction with materials so advanced they border on space-age technology. Those lifter failures that haunted nightmares and destroyed family loyalty, completely eliminated through superior metallurgy and revolutionary lubrication systems. This new valve train is engineered to handle decades of heavy towing without breaking a sweat. Cylinder management evolves from disaster to brilliance. GM might still offer cylinder deactivation, but with radical improvements that actually work. Simplified operation that doesn't fight the driver. Optional on specific trims for maximum choice. Rumors suggest base and performance trims might skip it entirely, giving traditional buyers pure, uncompromised V8 power. Thermal efficiency reaches levels that seemed impossible just years ago. Cutting-edge combustion chamber design and thermal management deliver better fuel economy without sacrificing the torque curve that truck buyers depend on for real work. No downsizing compromises. No power sacrifices. Just pure engineering excellence. Transmission. Harmony finally becomes reality as GM completely rewrites transmission logic and possibly redesigns hardware to work with the engine instead of fighting it. No more gear hunting during crucial moments. No more clunky shifts that embarrass you in front of contractors. Just smooth, confident power delivery that feels natural and predictable. Competitor disasters prove GM's genius strategy. Let's examine how spectacularly GM's competition is failing because their disasters prove this V8 strategy is pure genius. Toyota's twin-turbo catastrophe speaks volumes about industry confusion. Remember when Toyota murdered their legendary, bulletproof 5.7 V8 for a twin-turbo V6 hybrid in the new Tundra? Over 100,000 units recalled for turbo failures and electronics nightmares. Oil leaks that embarrass owners. Laggy throttle response. That makes towing feel dangerous. Cooling problems that threaten engine life. Resale values that can't touch the old V8 Tundra. It doesn't even sound like a truck anymore. More like an oversized sedan with an identity crisis. Ford's EcoBoost complexity creates expensive maintenance nightmares. Sure, Ford's turbocharged V6 engines make decent peak numbers on paper, but they're mechanical minefields. Complex intercoolers. Heat management systems. Turbo replacement costs that shock customers. And they completely lack the linear power delivery that makes towing feel natural and predictable. When you need power immediately, you don't want to wait for turbo calculations and heat management. The V8 advantage remains completely unmatched in the real world. Instant, predictable torque from idle to redline. Fewer complex components that can fail. Simpler maintenance that any mechanic can handle. That iconic sound and feel that makes truck ownership an emotional experience instead of just transportation. For buyers who value honest mechanical strength. Over marketing complexity, nothing else even comes close. Strategic timing for maximum devastation. GM's timing couldn't be more perfectly calculated for maximum competitive impact. While the company officially states the new V8 will be production ready by 2027, industry insiders are pushing aggressively for a 2026 Silverado launch. Here's why they cannot afford to wait another minute. The current Silverado is aging rapidly. In dog years, introduced in 2019, it needs far more than cosmetic surgery to remain competitive. Ford's F-150 just received significant updates with new technology and styling. Ram's next-generation truck is approaching fast. GM cannot afford to fall behind in this winner-take-all market. Trust requires immediate rebuilding before it's too late. Many loyal customers abandon GM trucks because of past reliability disasters. A powerful 2026 model can restore confidence before those customers commit to competitor vehicles for another 5 to 7 year ownership cycle. Once they leave, Getting them back becomes nearly impossible. Electric vehicles aren't ready for real truck buyers yet. Infrastructure remains pathetically inadequate. Charging times kill productivity. Premium pricing excludes working customers. A rock-solid V8 offering bridges that gap perfectly while the market slowly adapts to electrification at its own pace, not government mandates. The complete 2026 Silverado revolution. The 2026 Silverado represents far more than just a new engine. It's receiving total transformation. Completely new bodywork that looks modern but maintains truck DNA. Updated interior with cutting-edge technology that actually works. Advanced safety systems that protect without annoying. And at its heart, that rock-solid V8 that truck buyers have been desperately craving. Imagine owning a Silverado that tows any load with absolute confidence. Shifts smoothly in all conditions from city traffic to mountain passes. Never leaves. You wondering if your engine will catastrophically fail during a critical job. Looks modern and sophisticated, but feels familiar and trustworthy. Keeps that deep, throaty V8 soundtrack that makes neighbors stop their yard work just to listen. In an increasingly electric and regulated world, this might be one of the last great traditional American trucks. GM is going all in on what built their legendary reputation in the first place. Why this revolution matters for every type of buyer. For work truck buyers, this means never again worrying about lifter failures shutting down your business during crucial projects. No more transmission hunting while towing expensive equipment. No more explaining to clients why your truck broke down. Just dependable, predictable power when your livelihood depends on it. For performance enthusiasts, this represents a V8 specifically built for modification, tuning, and classic hot rod potential that made the small block legendary among automotive enthusiasts worldwide. Modern reliability with old-school modification potential. For traditional truck fans, this delivers everything you loved about the golden age of V8 truck ownership, but with modern reliability, efficiency, and technology that meets today's demanding requirements without compromise. Beyond engineering, a cultural declaration of war. This $888 million investment represents something much bigger than just a new engine design. It's a cultural statement that reverberates through American automotive DNA. As GM spokesperson boldly declared, "We're making these investments to provide our customers choice when it comes to vehicles and the powertrains we offer." While the entire industry chases government efficiency mandates and electrification requirements, GM is building trucks that actually work, last decades, and feel right to American buyers. They're not trying to win the complexity war with more turbos, hybrids, and electronic systems that break. They're perfecting the time-tested formula that built America's truck culture and working-class prosperity. Here's the strategic nuclear advantage. While other manufacturers systematically abandon V8 engines, GM's unwavering commitment creates massive market differentiation. When Ford and Toyota owners are dealing with expensive turbo failures and hybrid electronics nightmares, Silverado owners will be enjoying smooth, reliable, simple V8 power that just works. The ultimate redemption story is the 2026 Silverados. Revolutionary new V8, a complete game changer? Without question, but it represents something even more significant for American automotive culture. It's GM's shot at total redemption, their chance to win back the hearts, minds, and wallets of truck buyers who felt completely abandoned by previous reliability disasters and corporate indifference. This could be the most important truck GM has built in decades. If they execute this engineering revolution correctly, they'll prove that sometimes the best path forward is perfecting what made you great in the first place, not chasing every regulatory trend and automotive journalist opinion. The 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 isn't just another truck refresh or marketing campaign. It's the triumphant comeback of American V8 power, and it's going to be loud, proud, and unapologetically American. GM's $888 million bet on V8 supremacy proves they understand their customers better than any competitor in the industry. This is more than a truck launch. This is a declaration that American automotive excellence isn't dead. It was just sleeping, waiting for the right moment to roar back to life. That moment is almost here, and Ford better be ready for the fight of their corporate lives. What do you think? Is GM's massive V8 investment the ultimate strategic masterstroke, or should they be following the industry toward electric complexity? The market will deliver its verdict. but early signs suggest American truck buyers are more than ready for reliable V8 power to reclaim its rightful throne.